Who's ready for the next episode of Overlord? So yes, today is going to be another episode of Overlord, and those of you that have been over on the Discord have been fairly good and quite tight-lipped about it. So, well, no spoilers have really gotten to me yet, which is nice. I expected a lot worse, considering I didn't really know what I was talking about last episode. It's looking like I'll be in for a good time. So let's get on with it. Still, the weird gothic vampire, like Elizabethan dress, not bad. So she's obsessed with him like Albedo. So this is their, well, I said it, the animosity between them. They get off by insulting each other. And their arguments are mostly surrounded about the fact that they look young. Big bug dude. With ice powers? Alright. They know to cut it out when he starts talking. I guess that's what you get for having ultimate power over them, I guess. That guy looks like he'd be in a cross between like Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry. Now we know there are some more that they aren't showing us, but when we're going off just like character designs, I like it. It's a weird mix because it's a fantasy setting, but you know that it's a game and designed by the guild members, I think. So basically, the characters are made and designed by people, so they're all. It's weird to think about. Still, would like to know if the Guardians know about the other guild members, or if it's just the big boss there, since he's the only one that's kind of stuck around to in the castle. And did I just see the vampire in a knight outfit? Like armor. Not outfit. So what is his first commands gonna be? We know that he sent Service out to look around. I want to know what he's seen. I kind of want to see what her personality would be if he didn't change it from being a bitch. Subarashi! Good. Now explain everything. Oh yeah, when the party of the random people attacked and got utterly defeated, it was like undead and trees. I didn't can't remember if I saw swamp or not, but I'm not sure why the server shutting down and then making this world would change the location of the guild. Or the Great Tomb of Nazarick. So hide. For strategy, yes, but if you want to appear impressive and domineering, then it's probably best not to hide away. But until you know the situation, very good. Can't really hide then, can you? He's kind of a strategic genius. Well, I wouldn't say genius, but he's strategically sound so far. Oh, I like this. He's finding out what they perceive him to be so he can live up to that expectation and not do anything wrong. That was a okay weird one. So far, they're giving him very high regards, but of course they would really. So stayed behind with them until the end. What's at what end? He's still getting used to this world, isn't he? I mean, he knows the world, but this is slightly more interactive. So is he? So are they now getting a different view of him since it went from being NPCs? What is her? Oh, I thought she was getting angry. Like no, our creator. So do they know that he was like the leader of the guild, or is this? Or are they just saying because he's the big ruler here? Of course she will. Her expressions. That's like one of those perverted speeches I would guessed from Sora. Is it Sora? Both explain and don't explain. So she's just as perverted. I like the style. Okay, I don't like the style. When things are looking bad, run away. I like Demiurge. What, and they're fighting. We know that Alberta is like the leader, so she's probably stronger. Oh, so they're fighting for his love, isn't it? That's can undead have children? How does that work? I mean, there's no heartbeat or anything, and they don't age. So, do other biological processes work? Now we know that the elves are like 76 years old. Why is she? Is that a? That's a guy. I thought they were twin elf sisters. No, the girl was in typical male dress, and the male was in typical female dress. Of course, when designed by people, that is the kind of stupid thing that, yeah. We didn't even get to see it. Nah. Well, they came to that arrangement quite quickly. I think fights over who appreciates him more is going to get tiring very quickly. Okay. So he still has restrictions on him that don't make sense outside of a game world. That's a bit unfair. Although that's quite good. In this kind of instance, maybe that's good that his libido is somewhat repressed. Then again, he's a skeleton. Fair enough. I mean, that makes sense. Like bound weapons and armor. They're technically magical, so yeah. It's good that they're actually using things and explaining it why it would work and why, and they're putting in certain limitations as well. Because it's even though he is this level 100 almighty powerful war boss, he can be overcome by fairly simple means. So I'm guessing that's going to be brought up at some point. Any restrictions placed on him by just game rules and stuff. Do they know his armor? Oh. So Demiurge is actually kind of smart. Well, we already knew that he wasn't dim because he made up the whole having Lord Mamunga's heir. I would I'd be very surprised if he had chosen one of his demons to go along instead of himself. Skyboxes in games and whatnot are pretty much always more impressive than the real life example. Especially if you live in a city environment where light pollution is an issue. Okay, that explains how he could fly. Alright, nice. Oh. I don't know if I like this incarnation of Demiurge. Little frog boy. So is part of his plan now gonna be... Is he trying to be evil? Well, he's already put out this personality of being quote unquote nice to the servants of Ein's own goal. Now that is a tough and impressive goal. One that I'd be interested to see if it comes to fruition. Is that monsters him and oh, that's them creating the hills, isn't it? Yeah. So Ma is what you would describe as a trap. Although it's pretty quickly shown to that it wasn't being drawn out, which is different to some other things. So all those hills in the background, are they what they've created? Because they did say it was flatlands around. So here, have a present. What's he gonna reward him with? Are the supreme beings the other guild members? Is that what they mean? That would make sense. So is he going to give each of the guardians a ring? Or is this special for Mayor? Trying to work out which finger they got put on. Well, Demiurge worked it out. Or did he work it out? I can't remember. No, he just worked out who it was. That's it. Not. Was that the reason why he wore the armor? It's a good explanation, though. Oh dear. Now you're gonna have to give her a present, or behold the wrath of a woman. So does he just have a big, like, collection of these rings in his inventory? Well, she's somewhat pleased, isn't she? Or does he have to create them? Interesting. She was given a ring by her beloved. How is she going to be anything other than ecstatic? Episode 2, we're getting our first glimpse of a antagonist, I guess. I'm really unsure about who the evil ones are in this situation. And I want to thank the people that informed me that this is Myth and Royd, because now I can tell. Yes. Still prefer the opening song. But it's not bad. I do like Myth and Royd. So we got a bit more explanation on the different characters, well, the Guardians, and their personalities. We know that Demiurge is somewhat... I don't know what the correct word would be in this situation, but he seems to be able to think things through a bit more and understand the pretenses behind it. So hopefully, well, I think he'd be the first one to find out that Lord Momonga might not be what they think out of all the Guardians, if that's what was meant. And there's a village being attacked. I almost stopped that recording by accident. There's a village being attacked, and he doesn't particularly care. So is he inhabiting more of the race that he chose when he created his character. Like how much of himself is himself, if you know what I mean, and how much has been affected by this new world. We don't really know anything about. Well, okay, I don't really know anything about his backstory at this point, other than just being a guy. And like the slime guy, so I've got to get up for work, so I'm logging off. So we know that the world that they came from is relatively somewhat similar to ours. I'm just making that assumption because people work. We even had the characters with inbuilt insecurities, like Shaltir, who just like Eris, pads her chest. Is that something that the guild members put into her character bio when they made her? Because I can see that being a thing, and having NPCs created by just random people on the internet, they would probably turn out something like this. Especially when it comes to the it's not gender swapped, but boy-girl mix-up of the elves. That I can see being a something that at least more than two of you guys out there would come up with. Still a few characters that I'd like to see more of. I'd like to know what... Do the battle maids actually have anything to do with being a character, or are they just there as like a defender if anyone gets within the grounds of the guild hall? Because they haven't really been touched upon at all. So I'm not sure what the significance of them is, I guess would be my point. But yeah, it was clever of him to find out how they perceived him so that he can live up to those perceptions and not act too different or insincere or anything to arouse suspicion while he's still learning out about this world. I was going to slightly moan that 2 episodes we haven't really gotten past just exposition, but this one was alright. The first one had a lot to explain, so I give that a pass. And this is still introducing more stuff, so I'll give it a pass as well. If something doesn't occur next episode, it's already kind of shown that it will, then there's going to be a problem. Especially when there's only, 12 episodes to a season. You got to try and get as much in as possible. I'm still hesitant over how they're going to handle a overpowered character, but introducing these limitations like you can't wield a sword if it's not magically bound is a good step. I'm not sure how significant that's going to play in the future. But since this is quite a well-received show and quite a lot of people enjoy it, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's handled quite nicely. And honestly, just like everything else, I'm not looking to hate on it. I don't see the point in that. And definitely not with this show, because in 2 episodes I'm very intrigued and it's looking good. Join me again for the next episode of Overlord and to see who would win in the Battle of Affection. Would it be Alberto or Shaltir? or the obvious winner overall, Sebas. But honestly, until next time, stay awesome.